This facility means continuing to support the base business, which is growing strongly, to mining laboratories and mining companies around the world, but it also gives us the space and the capability to innovate. And an expression of innovation coming from Rocklabs is a new piece of equipment, automated modular solutions, that is providing high speed, high accuracy, automated equipment to the mining community around the world.
And so the AMS machines are all being made here. What's the production line on that like?
Yeah, so we call it AMS, as you said. The big mining companies and the big laboratories around the world are under pressure for labour supply and speed, and always it's about accuracy of splitting samples to be reflective of a bigger sample. So this facility has the capacity and the capability through the engineers and the people to build multiple AMS lines at any one time. We've got projects underway at the moment, and we've got a frequent supply of global mining companies bringing samples in to be tested on a pilot facility that we have here, that we can prove the capability and the technology to these companies around the world, from Africa to South and North America, across into the Australian mining sectors.
And the customers, it's obviously the end customers themselves, but you mentioned you have some agents here today. How important are those agencies into getting into the other companies?
Yeah, really important. So we've got good partnerships through our agencies that represent Rocklabs into those mining companies, but also Rocklabs, through our engineering capability and technical expertise, has relationships directly with the miners and the laboratories. But we work hand in hand with partnerships. A company this size, which is about 70 employees or turning over somewhere around $50 million of New Zealand revenue, the partnerships around the world allow us to access huge global markets that we wouldn't otherwise necessarily be able to do. And the power of those relationships is coming through in the growth of this business, which continues to be very strong.
And you've mentioned to me before the strategy of productization throughout the whole Scott business. I suppose the modular capacity of this AMS is it feeds into that?
Yeah, it's a good expression, and it's another example of taking standard equipment, being able to build it up in a modular fashion. That takes some of the risk of engineering out of a bespoke design and build piece of technology. So if you build it up from a proven base that we're very experienced and capable of delivering, you can build bigger and bigger solutions. That equals speed, it equals accuracy, and it's fitting a need in the market where the market is struggling with labour supply, whether it's in the Pilbara in West Australia, in the African regions. It's driving all of that. So AMS is a good example of modular growth.
In terms of those mining market dynamics, is there investment? Obviously there's that labour issue, but is investment generally going back into the sector?
Yeah, we've just come from the largest global mining conference in the world, which is Toronto. That was last week. That is attended by all the big mining companies, the Rios, the Fortescue Metal Groups and so on, but also all the independent laboratory companies like SGS, for example, or ALS. These are huge global independent mining laboratory companies supporting the industry. So we're seeing a lot of dynamics at play. You've got higher interest rates, starting to impact some of the development of some of the younger mining companies, but this is a sector which has huge global roll-on through the established mining deposits. So we're seeing good growth through the big mining companies like the likes of Rio and so forth, but also through the independent laboratories that are looking for, as I said, speed, precision, accuracy. It's an interesting time. As our president of global mining, Casey Jenkins, said, global gold prices are almost at record highs, so they're very strong. A little bit of a slowdown we read in the markets on some of the new green minerals because of what's happening with some plateau of the electric cars, but overall this business is growing very, very well.
Are you shifting from what you've been doing to modular, or that sort of runs alongside what you...
Grow both. So they're joined, but they're also independent of each other. We're seeing good base growth in the core products and the standard products, but we're also seeing people that want a slightly more automated solution where they've got labour supply, they've got speed that they've got to contend with. So we see them working in harmony, because the big organisations, the likes of Rio, the SGSs and so forth, they're really running different models depending on the size of the mines or their laboratories. So they work hand in hand.
Would you say AMS is slightly lower margin in the mix?
Yeah, I think AMS, it's a new product. It's early stage commercialisation. As the volume of that product grows, the margin will continue to grow, but it's still a good margin product. The base products of Rocklabs are very, very strong margins. I think you always talk about people, right? So the culture of this is a great example of New Zealand company with tenacity, innovation, a range of expertise coming from engineers to fitters to fabricators that are coming together to supply a technology product to the biggest markets in the world in one of the toughest sectors, which is mining. So the gear coming out of here is operating at very extreme temperatures, lots of different environment pressures on the gear, and it has to continually produce a high precise output. So I think this is a great example of New Zealand export doing really, really well. It's concentrated, it's high technology, and it's growing strongly.
For more content just like this and all the latest business and political news, head over to nbr.co.nz.